Hi guys, it's Sophie. So this is week 2 of the self-care readathon. I just realised that if I do this like every day, you'll see me every day for a month. That feels kind of scary in a little way. I've never vlogged for that long before. I've never like engaged with content for such a long period of time. But I wanted to check in because it's day 8, so we're in day 1 of week 2. I have done one prompt early, so what I might do is steal a prompt, like add another one in from last week or repeat the one I've stolen to add it up. I just wanted to say hello. I'm leaning over because I'm going to make breakfast with you. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the stackable prompt. Hopefully you can still hear me. The stackable prompt from last week, before we get started on this week, and that was to eat more fruit and veg. I found that quite interesting in that I found it quite easy to do. I think like the way I approached it was just to eat something with every meal, and then dinner normally ends up being like 2 or 3 anyway. But the sadder I am, the harder I find it to eat stuff that is good for me. So I thought that was quite an interesting reflection. I think that's probably enough grapes. This week's challenge is to exercise, is to move your body in a way that feels good every day. And so if you watched my last vlog, you'll know that Tom and I went for a run. Look at my enormous yogurt. Tom and I went for a run yesterday. So I don't know what I'm going to do today. Tom's on an early, so he'll be home later. So I'll see how he is. He was not doing great yesterday. Not horrendous, not like panic stations, just feeling quite tired, and he also needs to look after himself. Maybe he should do this readathon. And I think we've just kind of had our heads on like doing stuff for a little while. For him it's just like, it's not outside of work, it's like work but like balancing life and just looking after his mental health. I mean, he's not here so I probably shouldn't say too much, but I mean, I think my reflection is it's pretty hard for someone who's had agoraphobia to then go into COVID. It makes a lot of the behaviours that he's worked really hard to avoid what is deemed as sort of societally necessary. So it's very easy for him to struggle to challenge that. Obviously he's still going to work, which I think is huge. And I think work is really important for him in maintaining his mental health, but it is tricky. Like, we don't do a lot of stuff outside at the minute. I'm still not doing a lot of stuff outside at the minute. And I think maybe I might need to get back into like challenger role. This honey is so crystallised. Get back into like challenger role to help him. But yeah, I have to go to work in like 10 minutes. I need to make a coffee as well. Need to get to work in like 10 minutes. It's Tuesday and I'm on leave next week, so it's kind of a slightly busy week where I'm kind of prepping for leave, but also it's like, it's not that long. Like, there's nothing that's that big I need to do. I did sleep really well last night, like really well, so I'm feeling in a good mood today. I also didn't, just because Tom and I did our run and then we had lots of chatting, I didn't manage to do my reflections for me and white supremacy, so I might try and see if I have time to do that either before I start, like I've still got 10 minutes, or whether I'll do that on my lunch break. But yeah, I finished Disability Visibility last night as well. Really enjoyed it, definitely would recommend. And I don't know what I'm going to do about Masquerade. I might like go through Tom's shelves and see if there's something I prefer, because he picked that one for me. Or maybe I'll give it till page 50 and then I can like formally DNF it and I'll have to think again. Yeah, the other thing I did think is I saw Jen has a copy of the new Maggie Nelson book. I didn't know there was a new Maggie Nelson book, but she's probably one of my favourite authors, full stop. And I don't ask for proofs a lot, so I might ask for a proof, because that would be really exciting. So yeah, we'll see how I get on with that. And then I've nearly finished Fake Accounts as well, so maybe I'll get to that like sunny at lunch break. We'll see. I'm going to make my coffee and start work. So it's lunchtime. I haven't got much time today. I'm going to sit outside. I brought myself just a cheese sandwich and some salt and vinegar crisps. Tom and I are going to have a picnic for dinner, which I'm really excited for. I didn't get a chance to read any of Me and White Supremacy this morning, and then I've just been in meetings all day, and I'm in meetings again all this afternoon. So I'm going to eat my sandwich, and I'm going to try and do yesterday's reflective piece and the first one for day 8 out here. I've got about 20 minutes. Yeah, then back into meetings again, but hopefully tonight will be nice. Is that an otter? In the river?
I heard a noise.
Yeah, there are otters in the canal.
Little bugger's currently trying to get my rolls.
Tom and I have come out for a picnic. Tom is all over there. We've got all our bits. I've just filmed a little bit of our things. Tom is sad, as we talked about yesterday, so we're making Tom not sad. And Sophie's also happy, so that's good. I've got Sanatorium, but I think I'm probably going to finish Fake Accounts first, but we're going to eat. It's not really time to eat, but we're going to eat. So I just wanted to say hello and show you the food before it all vanishes. So we've got home. It's a really lovely time, actually. It is 7:05, and I'm going to start reading. I haven't read anything yet, apart from Me and White Supremacy, and I think I'm going to try and finish Fake Accounts. That's what I said earlier, I think. But I'm really excited for Sanatorium, so that's probably going to be my next read, I think. After Fake Accounts, the only book I have left is Financial. I feel pretty certain of that. I'm going to have to tot them up in a bit. So I've asked for one book for review, and I might try and find some others that are coming out soon, and ask for a few others just in case I get rejected. Yeah, but we'll see. I just don't really want to read Masquerade. If I have to, I will. Hi guys, so it's day 9? I think it's day 9. I am clearing my clothes to get rid of what I no longer wear. Tom's going to help me, like A, in choosing, and B, in like recording the process. Let me flip my camera. Yeah, this is everything that I own on my bed. It looks huge in this pile, so I need to do some like honest decisions. I think probably the thing I'm going to get like on a cropper on is I know some of this doesn't fit me, and I really struggle with throwing away clothes that don't fit me because my brain says like you'll fit into them again. So I think I need to be a bit harsher on that. But yeah, that's the plan. So day 9 prompt was to clear out clothes you no longer wear, and I was going to donate them. We kind of are donating. This is my bag. I filmed it all, but I don't know whether it's too long to put in. But Tom, wave hello. Tom works at a mental health ward, and he reminded me that his patients often come in and they have nothing to wear, and that it might be nice to donate them to the ward so that people have some stuff. So yeah, I thought that was really sweet. So we've got a little bag full of my stuff, and hopefully it makes someone feel a bit happier when they're having a really rubbish time. And you're going to do the same to your clothes, aren't you? Tom's pile is just there, and see if you can find a few things to bring in as well. I finished Fake Accounts earlier, and I didn't update you guys. I'm really not matching right now. Yeah, I enjoyed the ending, but the middle was like, there was a bit where it was the middle, nothing happens, and literally nothing happens. And I think rather than thinking that was clever, I just found it a bit boring. So it's 3 stars. Like, I don't hate it. I felt like the ending did kind of save it, but I could have DNF'd it, so it can't get anything higher than a 3. So I've read 7 of the books of the 8. The last one I have to read is Financial. I've given up on Masquerade, and I've swapped it for The Lies of Locke Lamora, which I've heard people say is really good. But I'm going to take a break from reading self-care readathon books for a bit, because I've got lots of new books I'm very excited for. One of which is Sanatorium by Abby Palmer. A woman goes to, like, Tom is making dinner. A woman goes to have like a healing spa bath, and then tries to recreate the experience at home. I'm pretty sure it's memoir, poetry, and mediations on the body. I can't remember where I found about this one. Maybe on Twitter. But I'm excited to get into it. I feel like it might pair well with disability visibility. Good morning. It's day 10 of the self-care readathon. It's still pretty early. I woke up really early today. And I've just been sitting down here reading yesterday and today's Me and White Supremacy prompts. Tom and I did quite a lot last night, so I didn't have as much time to sit and read that one and kind of sit and journal and stuff, so I'm glad I've had time to do that this morning. I am going to pick up a new book, to the Mirror and the Palette by Jennifer Higgie. I just felt like more non-fiction So yeah, I'm gonna just sit here and do that. I've still got half an hour until I have to work, but I'm feeling very sleepy. I'll see you later. Hello. So it's on my lunch break, and Tom is on he's on a long day tomorrow, so it's going to be Sophie vlogging a lot the next couple of days. But I'm going to read The Mirror and the Palette. I did do some yoga last night, but I'm not doing brilliantly with my stackable aim of moving my body. And tonight I need to do the clean when I finish work, which kind of vetoes like exercise because it's dirty. I need to shower after, which is kind of frustrating. But I also don't think I have the energy to go do a run and then spend an hour and a half cleaning the house. So I think I might just have to be okay with that today, which is a little bit annoying, but I think I'll be okay with it. And then tomorrow maybe, because it's Friday and I'm off next week, so Friday is my last day before my leave. Maybe I could go then, because Tom will still be on a late. He'll still be back at like 9 then. But yeah, I'm having another like salad with like this little Higgy sausage rolls. I've loved it. I've had it so many times. So I'll show you that when it's done. But yeah, gonna just carry on reading The Mirror and the Palette. Started it this morning and I'm enjoying it, and I also did my 2 reflective bits for me and white supremacy. So on to this one for a little bit. Just finished work, I have to do the clean and I really don't want to, so I'm gonna try and find a podcast or something to listen to while I'm doing it, because I'm really not feeling it today. Like, I don't know, it's just like end of a week before a week off and I feel like I've done enough by just working, but I need to do it. Maybe I'll try and do, I saw this woman on TikTok do like a speed clean challenge where she sets herself how long she'll thinks it takes to clean each room, and then she has to try and beat it. Maybe I'll do that. But I think I'm either going to listen to a podcast or I'm going to listen to an audiobook. I need to feed the cats first. But yeah, I'm unhappy about this scenario that I have to actually clean my own house. Decided that was a thing. Yeah, I haven't done my washing up from lunch either. I'm just doing myself in today. So I'll get it done and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I read all of Sanatorium last night. So that was really good, really good. I'll talk about it more in my wrap up, but 100% 5 stars. It was an underlining book, which is good for me. Yeah, I think when I've done the clean, I'm gonna have to think about something that might like brighten me up a little bit, because I'm not feeling sad, I'm just feeling very meh. Like I've just had a meh work day and I feel like I'm gonna feel more meh when I've done the clean. But I need to feed the girls because they're like, you've got halfway there and us. So I'll feed them first. So I'm 1¼ hours in so far, and I've just got the kitchen and the bathroom left to do. It says it's gonna rain, so the last job I had was to water the plants, but if it rains I don't have to. So yeah, we're just doing the kitchen and bathroom, and then I need to jump in the shower. But I'm not doing too badly. I reckon it will take 2 hours tops. I'm going to go for 1:45. Hey, so it's 2.5 hours later, but I have cleaned everything and I've showered. I haven't done the plants, but they might have to wait. It's 6:30, so I need to make dinner fairly soon, but I just need to sit for a minute. AFOS. I definitely haven't done any self-care today. I woke up, I worked. Like I woke up, I did a little bit of reading this morning I suppose, but I basically woke up, worked, cleaned, and then I'll be doing dinner in a bit. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to fit anything in today. Maybe that's okay. I mean, I've done some extras on the other days, so maybe it's like accepting that you do the self-care for days where you can't. I think pretty sure I learned that in therapy. But yeah, I'm just going to sit here with Foz, who's been trying to sit with me all day and is annoyed that I've been at work. And I'm going to carry on with The Mirror and the Palette. I also want to show you this. I got this today, Not Very Sophie, Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. And I bought it because my younger brother, I actually have 2 younger brothers. I feel like I never talk about my family that much on here, but I do, I have 2 younger brothers. He doesn't read that much, but he read this one and said, oh my god, it's amazing, have you read it? I want to talk to you about it. Yeah, and I enjoyed The Martian, and I haven't read Artemis, the one in the middle. It's a bit chunkier than I was expecting, but I think this could be like fast-paced, good fun. We're going to go to the cottage next week, so I might do a reading vlog in the cottage. And this might be a good one to take. I feel like it was going to be an easy read. But I've got lots of stuff I'm excited for. But yeah, this was specifically bought because my brother, who doesn't read, was like, can we talk about it? And I was like, yeah, of course, I read everything. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit. And this lovely lady needs a little bit more love. It is day 11. I'm on my lunch break. I actually woke up loads of times in the night last night. Woke up at like 3, 5, all sorts. So I ended up actually getting out of bed at like 7. So I didn't have any time to vlog this morning. It's the last day before my annual leave, and I've got that like work feeling where I'm just like, ugh. But I've only got like 3¼ hours to go. I've had my lunch already, so I've literally just got 15 minutes. I'm going to carry on reading The Mirror and the Palette. I started The Lies of Locke Lamora last night, which is my new pick for financial, and I'm really enjoying it so far. But I want to finish this one up first so that I'm just back to one book. But because this is like art history and it's a little bit textbooky, it's a bit much to read just on its own, but I need to keep chipping at it. I haven't done anything self-care prompt-wise today yet. I have draw something, have an hour to do nothing at all, and buy yourself a small food treat left. I do want to try and do some exercise tonight, but on a kind of like spur of the moment thing, I signed up to be a like peer support person for people with mental health conditions, and the volunteer like coordinator is giving me a ring tonight when I finish work, so I need to talk to her first, but then maybe I'll go out for a run. I do say Tom's been mentioning he might want to go again, so I might text him and see if he wants me to do something else tonight so that we can run tomorrow, because I don't know that I'll be able to run 2 days in a row. But yeah, I'm going to just sit here with my book for 10 minutes and then head back up and finish off my day. I finished work, I'm on holiday. I just had my call with the volunteer service and it was really good. I'm really interested in it still. There's just some training that falls on work hours, so I'm gonna have to like figure out how I might remake that time and all that kind of stuff. It all sounds really positive. I just wanted to check in. I'm feeling really happy about that. I'm really excited. I think I said about what it was I applied for. It's to be a peer support person for people with mental health difficulties, and I just feel like I'm at a much better point in my life and I'm ready to start doing some of that stuff. And I don't know, it would have really helped me, I think, to see someone who had the same things as me, who was doing fine, like later down the line. Yeah, so I'm really happy. It seems like so far it looks like I match what they're looking for. I was going to check in because my aquarium gravel turned up, and I read online that these little flies that have been like plaguing Tom's plant, and you know that fungus, that white stuff I spoke about in a video a while back? Apparently that's like what the flies are eating. It's like fungus. Tom has overwatered his plants, and there was a hack online that said if you put aquarium gravel on top of your soil, you can water through it, and then it stops them from laying eggs in the top. And all of Tom's plants are the ones that all have it. Like, there's so many flies. I don't know whether you can see them like buzzing around when you're near this, like the soil like this. Ugh, it's gross. So I'm gonna do all of these plants. There you are. Can you see them? They're like everywhere, like literally everywhere. And then all this stuff is apparently where they're laying their eggs. So I'm gonna put my aquarium gravel on, the ones that are problematic, and see how it goes. Okay, I've applied my gravel to Tom's plants. They're all Tom's plants. Like, there's one of mine that maybe looks a little bit white on the top, so I put some on there just in case, but there's just like 2 of them that are just infested. The whole house is full of flies because of these 2 plants. I think it looks like it's gonna rain. But I kind of want to do a run, and I think maybe I should just go for it. But I wanted to show you before I decide what I want to do some books, because I got some books. I got the Maggie Nelson proof. Hopefully you saw, I think it was in this video, it might be in the last video, but I requested On Freedom by Maggie Nelson. I haven't requested an ARC in so long, so thank you so much. This is from Jonathan Cape, or Vintage, who sent this one to me, and I'm so excited. I love her writing, what she does. She's easily one of my favourite full-time, like ever, authors. So I'm so excited to have this one. That one's definitely going to be read over the next week. And I also picked up Unwell Women by Eleanor Cleghorn, which is a really new release. Like, I feel like it was maybe published like a couple of days ago. I haven't got the actual release date on here, but this is looking at the way that medicine treats women. I'm trying to read a bit more on disability in a minute and upskill my brain. So yeah, 2 really exciting books to read. What do you guys reckon? It might be too late by the time you get here, but do you think it's going to rain on me? It might go anyway. When Tom and I went out together, the way my ankles didn't hurt was very, very slow running. So I might have to adopt that today. Do I want to go? Do I want to save it when I can do it with Tom? Because it was really nice doing it with Tom. I'm going to message him. I'm going to give him like 5 minutes, and if he doesn't reply, I'm going to go. We're going to go. Tom has not texted back, so I'm going to go on a run. If he wants to go tomorrow, he can go tomorrow, but yeah, I need to get rid of Foz because she wheezes and stuff. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be fun. It's still, like, it's warm. It's just, like, very overcast, but it's not raining, so let's go for it. So I'm back from my run. Foster's happy. Me and Dylan. Just cooking some dinner. I've had my shower, and I'm going to carry on with the mirror and the palette. I didn't get that far through this lunchtime just because I didn't have that much time. I'm on page 190 at the minute. Did I talk about what it is? If I did, I can just cut this bit. I'm a little bit high. Hang on. I've not got a tripod. I've just got leaning. Yeah, this is about the history of women in portrait, specifically self-portraits, and we kind of look at what were the circumstances in which they're making these paintings, what do they mean, where is their place in the history of women's self-portraiture. Yeah, and it's got some pictures throughout it, and it just kind of talks about who the artists are. There's like 1 or 2 in here I'd ever heard of, but I'm not a huge art person. But I am enjoying it so far. There's a lot of notes actually, so I think I might be further through than I think. Yeah, it's only 262 pages, so this bit here is all the notes section. I've also brought down the Lives of Locke Lamora, but I'm going to focus on finishing off this non-fiction first. Yeah, I've got some pasta for dinner with, like, it's like this Tesco mozzarella and pesto thing. It's really good. I'm feeling quite tired after that run. I felt like I ran more than I walked this time. Yeah, Tom will be home in like 3 hours, so that'll be really nice. And Foster is very pleased. Aren't you, darling? Yeah? You happy? She was mad at me earlier because I kept moving her from room to room. But I think she's happy now. I think she's happy. Yeah, I'll check back in with you guys in a bit. I'm just kind of zoning out. I'll talk to you a little bit later. Good morning, guys. It's Sophie. It's the beginning of day 12, I think. I forgot to go pick up Me and White Supremacy. But I was just going to show you the 2 I have here. So The Lives of Locke Lamora is my financial pick. And I'm 44 pages in, so I think I'm going to read some of this morning. I am also going to finish my bit for today of Me and White Supremacy. I needed to brush my hair. And I've got Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. I think I hauled. I had kind of seen this one bustling around a little bit, and my stepdad and I like communicate a lot through books. We really like reading the same kind of things. We get on really well. And he was like, "Oh, have you read this one?" And I was like, "No," so I picked it up. Yeah, it says that Lillian and Madison are unlikely roommates and yet inseparable friends at their boarding school, but they've barely spoken since. Until now, when Lillian gets a letter from Madison pleading for her help. Madison's twin stepkids are moving in with their family, and she wants Lillian to be their carer. However, there's a catch. The twins spontaneously combust when they get agitated, flames igniting from their skin in a startling but beautiful way. So that is Nothing to See Here. But before I do any reading, I edited the first section of this reading vlog last night, and I'm going to put it on YouTube because Tom's still asleep. We're on our annual leave from today, which is really nice. Tom did a long day yesterday, so I'll probably be in bed for, I don't know, it's 8 now, I'm guessing another 2-3 hours. But yeah, I'm going to pop my video on YouTube now, and then Fetch Me in White Supremacy, I think I'll do that one first because it's quite easy to forget because I'm doing it day by day, so it kind of is on my TBR but isn't, in that I can't read ahead, like I have to wait, so it kind of is easy for me to forget. I keep saying I've only got one left, which is financial. I don't. I've obviously got to reflect on that book, and I am doing a lot of reflection on that book. Yes, so I won't forget it, edit my YouTube stuff, and then on to my reading. So we are awake. We have gone out to the antique shop and we found this one, which we're going to put up upstairs on the very blank wall. We got some flowers.
Have you already used the aquarium drum?
Yes. I got some sunscreen. I also got some fake tan, which I'm petrified of, and Tom got himself a new shaver. So we're going to put the painting up upstairs. Tom's going to do manly things.
I always do.
Stand back.
I'm going to say it with a straight face. Are those nails?
No, we haven't got nails, we've got the
I can use these things, can't I? Screws?
No.
Oh, we're using the sod it. I'm not very good at this sort of thing. We will survive. We're going to use the little tacks that we use.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Hello.
Oh, you might manage to hang it on that. Just be careful because you might scrape the wall, like above it.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool. Give it a go.
Awesome.
You want to go stand at the other side? Make sure it's straight. I can't really tell from down here.
It's straight. I've done a stellar job of doing that.
Whoop, whoop. Tom is just helping me with my content. I've got All the Things She Said by Daisy Jones that just turned up, which I'm so excited for. What are you reading on your Kindle, love?
I'm reading. It's by John Gwynne. I know that, and it's the second book in the Ben Elim series. Have you seen it?
Tom's got a salami sandwich. We've both got Copperbergs, and it's sunny, so we're well pleased. Hello.
Hello.
What are you up to?
I'm reading. We just had a water fight and planted some plants. Ate some ice lollies and yeah, lovely out here.
It is really nice. I'm about to start All the Things She Said by Daisy Jones, who is not the same Daisy Jones as a fiction writer. I've read 100 pages of The Lies of Lachlan Morha. It's only 500 pages long, so I'm doing okay. I think I might try and set it as a goal to read at least 50 pages a day of it. Because I'm less likely to gravitate towards it, even though I am enjoying it, just because it's not my typical genre. But I'm going to read a little bit about bi and lesbian ladies, which is exciting. So we've come inside now, we were out for ages. It's 5, Tom's just gone for a nap, and I have just started All the Things She Said. I'm really enjoying it so far. I've got myself a cup of tea, and I've also, for the first time since I was 16, put on a gradual fake tan. And I'm petrified. So I used the last one like literally 12 years ago. And I'm just so pale. I'm like a little pale thing. And I'm slightly worried it's going to just turn me bright orange. But we will see. We have faith. I've got a whole week off. So if it does go wrong, I've done it on day 1. And it should hopefully be washed off by the time I go back to work is my plan. But yeah, I am going to just settle down and read for a little bit. Tom and I are going to order a Domino's later, which would be nice. Yeah, we also had to move this room around. I don't think I explained, but normally I'm there. But there was something that smelled in this room and it was really bugging me. So we had to move everything and clean everything. And I think it was the wood that's been in our wood storage has got mouldy. It clearly was like slightly wet last year and then it hasn't dried out. So we're drying the logs in the garden. That's what you saw earlier. Hey, Foz. And yeah, also the pillow smelled a bit off. So I've washed the pillow as well. Yeah, I'm going to read for a little bit. So it's 11 o'clock and Tom and I have literally just been downstairs watching The Terror and eating pizza, and it's been really nice. My meds are like kicking in but not 100% yet, so I'm going to read a little bit more of All the Things She Said. I don't think my fake tan looks that bad. It's developed. I obviously don't look tanned because I'm very pale, but I'm not streaky and it has made a colour difference, so fingers crossed. Yeah, I'm gonna read for a little bit and I'll see you guys in the morning. I haven't done any of my prompts, so I'm gonna have to start doubling up on them, because I mean, I've kind of done have an hour to do nothing at all. I've definitely like just done whatever I've wanted to do today, but I haven't bought a small food treat. I'm trying to think when what the other one was. Draw something. I haven't drawn something. I might try and draw something tomorrow. I'll remind myself of that. Good morning. It's day 13. Just got up. I've got my coffee, and I've just spent sort of 20 minutes doing my me and white supremacy. Prompt for the day. Oh, it's not even that early, but I'm like sleepy and haven't spoken to anyone yet. I think I'm going to keep reading all the things she said for a little bit, because Tom's still asleep. Pull my necklace out, it's all gone wrong. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing today. I think we need to do a couple of things, like life jobs together, because Tom and I have just not had any time in the house together, really, like any significant period of time for a little while. So I think we might just need to sort some stuff today. It's not that interesting, but I'll show you if anything is interesting. I also need to do like loads of self-care prompts. I've not done enough, and there's only 2 days left. I didn't end up doing yoga yesterday. Tom didn't end up going on his run, which is what he planned to do, so we might go for a run later tonight. And I need to buy myself a food treat, draw something, and what was the last one? There's a last one as well. I'll try and remember what they all are and try and figure them out. I think I might draw something today. I think that is one I find quite challenging. I don't really do arty drawing stuff, but I think I might do that. And for a food treat, I might get an iced coffee, whether that's today or tomorrow, because it's such nice weather. Yeah, when I remember what the other one is, I'll try and figure out a way I can do that one as well. I just went to look at a cattery for the cats and it looks really sweet. I got a pair of shorts, and I also got a dress, but I'll show you that tomorrow because I think I'll wear it tomorrow. Tom got himself a little tank top and we're making some iced coffee. We saw a hack on TikTok where you just put the coffee and the sugar in the ice cubes and then you just mix them with a big thing of water, so we're going to try that. We should have bought straws. We forgot about straws again. Yeah, I think we might go sit out in the sun for a little bit. Tom's got the football at 2, so we'll come back inside for that. And I also got a little one of Tiffin for my buy yourself a food treat. And I'm going to try and do have an hour for yourself at some point today. And then draw myself is the last one. And I think, or draw something, and I'm going to try and draw myself from a picture. I think it'll be interesting. But yeah, I will see you guys in a sec. Tom is watching the Euros match up the garden. And I have got Priest Daddy by Patricia Lockwood, and I've got The Lies, just dropped it, The Lies of Lachlan Moorher, and I've got my Tiffin in the sunshine. So I'm going to start by reading some more of The Lies of Lachlan Moorher, and then I'll move on to Priest Daddy next. So sunny and so bright, so it's just gorgeous, and Tom's very happy because he's got his football. Tom and I are going for a run.
Hello.
It's 5:30. It's still really hot out, but we're gonna take some water and wish us luck. Tom's braced his knee up, kind of preemptively. I'm resisting all support methods, and hoping for the best. If I remember, I will put in a couple clips, but I know I've already done one bit of all the flowers, so I might not put too much in, but just something as proof. Foster's busy being tall. See you in a bit. And we are back home again. It was really good fun. We ran definitely the vast majority of it this time. And I thought it was 3k. I kept telling Tom it was 3k. It's not, it's 4.5. So that was really good. We've had a shower. I've fake tanned again because it was successful the first time, but we'll see how it goes this time. I'm very pale, so it doesn't really make much odds. Yeah, Tom's also fake tanned, but he has more of a like, he tans more naturally and he has a darker coloured like base skin tone than me. Yeah.
Lies. Absolute lies. It's all natural.
Don't believe him. Yeah, we're going to have leftover pizzas and watch more of The Terror, which we started watching last night. It's like a 18th century Arctic exploration horror thing. It's pretty good. Yeah, so we're gonna just chill. I've got my knitting again and it should be for good fun. So it's day 14. I've just dropped my car off for a service and I'm gonna walk back home. I get to walk like across a park, which is quite nice. And Tom and I are hopefully going to go to Bridport today, but I don't quite know how it's going to work out because I know his mum wants to see us and I need to, hopefully if my car's fixed, go across to try on bridesmaid dresses with my cousins this afternoon. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping this will look like FaceTiming, that's my plan. Yeah, cool, so I'm just going to have a little wander and then I'll see you guys in a bit. And home again. I got some Sweet Williams that I need to just put in a pot on my way home, and the cats aren't eating their usual cat food. They're doing that catty thing of ignoring something they've eaten for like years, so I've just got something new which they do also like, so hopefully they will eat some of that. My little monstera, the one last week I held on to, has sprouted his leaf finally. I don't know how the other one's doing actually. Let's have a look while I'm filling it up. Yeah, that little nodule looks like it's going to be something as well. And there's another little one just there. So maybe that tall one, now that he's actually got some water, might do fairly well. But yeah, I'm excited that one's got a good leaf as well. It's got an aerial root right next to it. Cool, that's overflowing. It's overflowing. Sweet Williams are in. Cats. Well, Bramble's not. Foster's gone for it. Foster's happy. Bramble is refusing everything at the minute. I need to water the plants. It's about 9 o'clock now. I have to get my car at 8, so not too bad. It takes about half an hour to walk back. So yeah, I'm gonna just water my plants with you quickly. I won't do the whole thing because you don't need 10 minutes of me watering plants. So Tom and I are going to head out to Bridport. Books in My Bags really kindly gave me some money to spend for Independent Bookshop Week, which starts on the 19th, so I'm a little bit early, but I'll be back to work next week, and the only independent we have like in a travelable distance is like fairly far away, so we're going to do that today. So it is a little bit early, but just a reminder that it's Independent Bookshop Week. I'm excited. It's really nice being able to go back to bookshops. Tom is in the background.
Hello. You alright?
Yeah, so we're going to head now. I won't be able to vlog in the car because we need to use my phone for sat nav, but we'll chat to you when we're there. So that's so much of a worry. Home, we got a little loaf of bread, and I had a vegan sausage roll. You had a meaty sausage roll, didn't you, my love?
I did.
I've got lots of books. I'll pull them out and show them to you. Okay, so we've got a few. This is actually proof of The Rapture by Claire McGasson, so it shouldn't really have been resold, but whatever. I saw Simon saying that this was slept on a little bit, and I nearly got it when it came out, and then I didn't. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes. Then I picked up The Amateur, which I really wanted to read at the time and I kind of forgot about it. But when I saw it again, I was like, do you know what? Yes, I hadn't seen it in a bookshop ever, but this was in Bridport Books, which was my favourite of the lot of them. This was the indie. They were all like independent, but most of them were secondhand. And then I got The Cancer Journals by Audre Lorde, which I don't think I've read, but like it feels vaguely familiar. Yeah, so there's that one. I love the cover, it's so colourful. Then, can't get it. Then I got Infinite Country by Patricia Engel, which I think I've heard mixed things about, but I've also seen the cover like everywhere, and I don't feel like I've heard unanimously positive things about it, but I have seen it literally everywhere. So I'm interested to see what I think about that one. Then I got this art book, which just has like really nice illustrations in them. If there's any that we really particularly like, we might cut it out of the book and frame it. Just because, like, it's only £8. I don't know who the artist is. Hang on, let's see if it says on the back. It says Arica. But yes, so there's lots of little bits in here. So I might find one I like, as I say, and potentially stick it on the wall. Then I got 2 cards that were very sweet from a little shop. That one. And this one. I got myself a little pair of socks with bumblebees on it, which looked soft, for a place called Thought. And then the 2 I got from Waterstone, so they're not independent, was the other Black Girl, which I've just heard really good things about. And it does say it's signed, so let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. And then the last one I got, because apparently I don't like myself, is The Premonition. So it's about the pandemic, it's about the science behind it. I am up for reading non-fiction about it. I wanted non-fiction about it in 2020 and couldn't find any, like it wasn't there yet. So yeah, those are all the books and bits that I got today. It was a good little trip. Tom didn't end up buying anything. I don't think he got a mood ring from like a little witchy shop, but that was it. So yeah, happy. So it's the end of day 14. We've had such a busy day. I really haven't vlogged today. After we went to Bridport, Tom's mum came round and we did our service, which was really exciting. And then probably like 20 minutes after we'd done that, we went over to fit my bridesmaid dresses, and they look really sweet, bless them. And then we've literally had dinner since getting home. We got in at like 7 and I've just had a shower. Yeah, there's not too much to report. I mean, I'm still reading Pre-Study, which I'm really enjoying. It's very funny. And yeah, I feel like this second week has not felt as dramatic as maybe the first week did. In terms of the stackable aim of exercising more, I definitely have done some, but not necessarily like as much as I'd hoped. And I didn't manage to draw anything today, so that's the only thing I haven't done. But Tom is out all day tomorrow. It's his stag, bless him, and he's also getting his suit fitted. So I have all day tomorrow. I do have some jobs to do tomorrow that are like wedding and house related, but I'm going to have all day by myself. So I think I could probably draw something tomorrow. I might end up, you know, I did some early last week. Maybe I'll carry one over next week. Yeah, I feel a dozen times better than I did before I started doing this. I think today's been just really busy, so I'm feeling quite tired today. But I'm excited for week 3. I kind of can't believe it. We're heading into week 3 already. But yeah, I'm excited for week 3, and I have to have a look and see what my prompts are. I know I have to book an optician/dentist appointment, so maybe I'll do that tomorrow while I'm doing all my little jobs. Just over there, just meowing. Yeah, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you're joining along, I hope week 2 has been enjoyable and restful for you. And yeah, I'll see you guys again soon in my next video. Bye!